Yeah, hi, welcome on my channel. Today we are looking how to buy real estate in Colombia.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, what you need to know here in Colombia, there is no license to sell properties. This is something for many Americans. They don't know that here in Colombia, you don't have to have a license to sell properties. Everyone can sell your properties, and the practice shows that, yeah, everyone sells properties. So the owner tells this to many people, and everyone is looking around if he can find a buyer. Huh? And this can be a problem because every of this so-called agent has his own lawyer, and of course this lawyer is not representing you, it's representing the seller. And as a buyer, yeah, you can trust them, but I wouldn't, um, because the only thing what they want to do is to sell you the house and or the land, and therefore be careful with this because it's not very professional organized here in Colombia. It's very important that you have your own lawyer. We offer the service that we make the title work for you, so that we check also the person who's selling you the property, and we have seen many things you're probably not familiar with. We had already a clients, they came then to us when they want to sell the property, and we had to tell him, sorry, you just brought an occupation right. Or when you have a legal case on the land, we had cases where they plant marijuana on the land, and the state can take away this land from the seller, and when you brought it from you. And that there are many other owners of the same building, things that you are probably not aware of. And then, yeah, to just say $400 or whatever for a title work, this makes no sense. The risk you are running, you don't know the laws, you probably not even speak the language, and believe me, ChatGPT cannot help you with this, or not sufficient. Practice is important. How does a deal works? So first of all, yeah, when you found the property, the land, or whatever you want to buy, then it's important that you contact us or another lawyer that is familiar dealing with expats. This is a topic we see later on why this is so important. Not all lawyers are familiar with international bank transaction. What does this mean, and so on. Therefore, take a lawyer that knows about all these topics. If you call us, what we do, we get in contact with the seller or his agent, and then we order all the documents that we need, the titles, everything. We make also a background check of the seller himself. And this is also important because sometimes you buy from a criminal, and this also can, yeah, finally end up in problems or whatever. What I do not recommend you. Making this title work is very, very, very important. I can tell you that. And in 90 years of experience, I have seen so many people losing a lot of money just because they want to save four or $500, and this hurts. Also, young people, they invested $200,000, $300,000, and they lost it. And this hurts. This really hurts because, yeah, you could avoid it. So if we did the title work and we see everything is okay with this land, with this apartment, with this real estate, whatever you want to buy, then it's a so-called Promesa de Compraventa. This is the first step. This is a preliminary sales agreement. In this sales agreement, we define the price, and you usually have to pay around 30% upfront payment. And in this contract, there we define the conditions. So until when the last payment has to be done, and also when the title is the handover of the title, and so on. And now, this is also very important. Or very often, when you make a wire from abroad to Colombia, it can occur problems in the banking, the receiving bank. And then they send you back the money. They want to have documents where is this money comes from, and so on. And this can end up in long delays. Therefore, we always state this in the contract. Yes, this is the time frame, but in case that the bank has problems to receive the money or whatever, this will be something like excluded. Because when you don't fulfill this preliminary sales agreement, you will lose all this money that you already paid. Because in this preliminary sales agreement, you define the payment date. And if you don't fulfill, the money is in, and yeah, you lost it. On the other hand, the seller cannot sell this property to another person in this time frame. This is the agreement, the main idea of this agreement. So he has to store this property for you. He cannot sell it to someone else, but you have to fulfill, on the other hand, the payment. And we have had this many times, and many clients that have been happy having this in the contract, in that when the bank makes problems, that then, yeah, this will not affect this contract. If you have the proof that you made the payment, but the bank could not receive it for whatever reason, doesn't matter, then, yeah, it protects you. This is so important. Then, okay, the next step then would be we are looking for the main payment. And there it's also important, also with the first payment, you can lose about 5% if you don't do it the right way. What is the right way? You have to explain the seller that the money that he receives are probably US dollars or pounds or Swiss francs or euros or whatever. He has to convert this money. And this usually a Colombian never have done this before. So usually the money arrives in the bank. He calls the bank, yes, put it on my account. And what happens? Yeah, the money will be converted with a very bad exchange rate. Therefore, it's important that you tell and that you state that in the contract that the seller has to buy the pesos on the stock exchange. This is easy done. We also support with this in case that it occurs problem for the seller. And this can be up to 5%. And when you buy something of 200,000 US dollars, these are $10,000. This is really money. With this money, you buy nice furniture. So that means the seller has to call the bank, and there he has to tell the bank, I want to negociar la tasa is the term. That means I want to buy the pesos. Of course, he has to to pay a small commission, but this is nothing in comparison to the money that you will lose when you don't do that. And these are things probably a lawyer who has never dealt with a foreigner, he does not know these things. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's very hot. I'm in the Caribbean, it has about 35 degrees, and it's really hot. Nonetheless, next very important topic is, yeah, the seller, when you wire the money, the seller has to register the money transfer in the Banco de República. This is the national bank. We also help with this form. And usually a Colombian never have heard about that. Also, a Colombian lawyer did not have heard about that when he does not work with expats together. Therefore, it's very important. Why is it so important that you register your money transfer? On one hand side, it's you are obliged to register this money transfer, and on the other hand, when you want to get an investor visa, this is a required document, the register of the Banco de República. If you don't have this document, and I have had already clients, they did not have these documents, and yeah, the visa was rejected, denied. So you invested the money, you already planned living here in Colombia, and then finally you don't get a visa, your money is already invested, and then, yeah, you have really bad luck. Just because you probably saved $400 or $500 for title work for a lawyer who is helping you through the process, doing the things right. It has not to be us who is helping you. There are other lawyers, but be careful. Not all lawyers have done business already with expats, with foreigners. They probably do not know all about this because, no, you cannot be a specialist in everything. But here in Colombia, every lawyer thinks he knows everything, or he just wants, to get paid, and therefore he tells you whatever you want to hear. Be careful with this. We have had already cases where people have had a lawyer and he did everything wrong, and finally, to fix things like that, it's very expensive, it's time consuming, and it gets on your nerves. And you don't want to come to Colombia to get upset. You want to relax, you want to enjoy your property, and having someone beside you who's helping you through the whole process because you don't know it, it's very important and helps you to enjoy your property. I don't say it will happen, but the future, we never know what will happen. But generally, you are obliged to register this money in the Banco de República. If you don't do it, you're not following the law. And we never know what will happen in the future. At the moment, it is not the case. But we see the conflicts between countries, we see difficulties, and you never know when Colombia wants to go after foreigners and you did not fulfill the requirements, you did not register this money. Who knows in the future? Probably they can take you away the property, the land, or whatever that you brought, and you was working hard for this money, and it will be a disaster for you just because you did not follow the law. I personally not a lawyer. I'm a Swiss CPA, but my wife, she's a lawyer, and we have lawyers in our team familiar with working with expats. So therefore, do not hesitate to contact me and follow this channel. On this channel, we have many good videos. How to buy real estate through an auction, visas, taxes, how to constitute the company, how to get the nationality, many things like that. And we are not expensive. We don't have gringo prices, and just follow the channel. You can have a look at our webpage. The webpage is in English. If you don't mind, just give me a call. A consultation of 15-20 minutes. It's free of charge. And then we can see what we can do for you. I would be happy if we could serve as well you, and that you get happy with your property and feel comfortable here in Colombia and having no doubts. So
Yeah, I hope you liked this video. And on my playlist in English, there are two playlists, one in German, one in English. You will find many other videos regarding how to get a visa, what visa is probably the right for you, how much does cost the visa, how does it work with taxes, and so on. So please follow the channel and don't miss anything. And then I wish you all the best until the next time. See you.
Feel the rhythm in the air, dance without a care in those cobblestone streets.